question for Coach Vrabel or offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. But Derek's been rolling. As we get down the stretch into games that really matter in January, we need Derek to roll. I think it's obviously important for us to keep him going, and that's what we're going to do. This is why the Titans concern me.
Yeah.
Because while I know we have embraced the Ryan Tannehill-led Titans, and he doesn't have the same reputation that he had in Miami, I do not trust this team if Derrick Henry is not getting over 27 carries per game.
Well, they're not the same team then.
Yeah, and the numbers support that. And so, I mean, he's been playing amazing. So as long as he's going, there is no problem. But I don't want to see them start to get cute towards the end of the season or try something in a playoff game. Like if he's not getting those carries, or if for whatever reason a team can stop him from getting going, they have a good run defense, they're in trouble. So they have the ability to do what they did this weekend, which is blow people out, because once he gets going, it opens the entire offense up, and the time of possession is out of control. If you can stop that, what can they really do to you?
Yeah, I mean, we always think Baltimore has to play a certain way. So does Tennessee.
Yeah.
And for the record, so does Green Bay. Green Bay has to get a lead. Green Bay is much better playing in front. Most teams Kansas City is the exception. They don't have to play a certain way. And that's why, by the way, New England was like that. New England could play slugfest. They could play pretty. They could do tricks. What generally separates the top team in the league from everybody else, we just play anyway. I mean, Golden State. Golden State could do whatever you want. They could go small. They could put length on the floor. And I think that's what I think everybody in the league, even Pittsburgh, has a certain way they're better off playing.
Yeah, and that's usual. Like, obviously, like you said, those teams are the exceptions, right? Like, especially a precision team that is like the Patriots, who are built on extreme preparation and knowing where you're supposed to be before the play is even called. Like that, those type of things, then you can make adjustments like that because you know exactly what to do. This is a team that I just don't trust if they don't have Derrick Henry going. Like, it's very obvious that they need him to do everything in order to open everything up. And it's not that they don't have weapons. It obviously goes to Derrick Henry. So the Giants dodged a bullet with Daniel Jones' hamstring injury on Sunday. Tests revealed that Jones has a hamstring strain, but ruled out a significant tear. He reportedly still has an outside chance of playing in their next game against the Seahawks, but they'll have a better idea about his availability in the next coming days. If he does miss time, the Giants don't expect it to be long-term. So that's really good news.
Well, so who do they play after Seattle?
After Seattle, they play Arizona and Cleveland at home, and then they are at Baltimore and then Dallas.
You know what? If I was them, I would rest them against Seattle.
I think I would as well, because they are at the top of the NFC East right now at 4-7. Washington's remaining schedule is really tough. And
they're going to lose at Seattle anyway. You're not as good as Seattle. You're going to lose that game, rest him, and then come home and beat Arizona and Cleveland. I think you will. Baltimore right now is not what we thought, and you'll beat Dallas. So you'll go 4-8, 5-8, 6-8. Dallas is 7-8. If you beat Baltimore, you're 8-8, and that wins the division. But I would rest them against Seattle.
I've always said that this is the division for the Giants to win this year. Like, to me, if the Giants win it, that is a significant trend in the right direction.
Oh, God, it's great.
Like, if Philly wins, whatever. Cowboys win, whatever. They don't have their quarterback right now. And Washington, they don't have their quarterback either. Like, and maybe it's a little bit of building a culture if they win the division this year for Washington, because they do have a new head coach. But to me, it's the most significant if the Giants do it, because they have their head coach and they have their quarterback. So I'm with you. Let them get healthy, especially hamstring injuries are really testy. Like, you don't want to put him out there too soon, and then he does tear it. And that's going to be a rough game anyway.
What's the line on that? What's the Fox bet line on that? On the Giants-Seattle game. So if they play Colt McCoy, Seattle's going to roll them. But I'm going to tell you something. The Giants match up with Seattle. Giants D-line's good. Seattle's O-line, as you saw last night, is the weakness of the team. What is the line right now on that? I am... So it's not...
Well, they'll find out in the next coming days. So the Bears suffered their 5th straight loss after a very poor performance against the Packers Sunday night. And in his Monday press conference, Matt Nagy said he's challenging everyone on the team to take responsibility and make some big changes going forward.
every freaking coach on the staff, every player better wake up and start understanding where we're at. Have some personal pride. Have a freaking sense of urgency. Know where we're at. Have some pride into who we're playing for and why we do this. And then go find a way to win as a team. Yesterday was flat out embarrassing, and our guys know it.
It was an interesting performance by the defense in this game.
Well, it's interesting. When the defense feels... it's almost like the offense is affecting the defense's mentality in Chicago.
Yeah.
Like Khalil Mack has had stretches where he disappears.
They didn't have a single sack or quarterback hit against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
By the way, the OBJ trade, the Giants got ripped for it. They won the trade. The Raiders got ripped for the Khalil Mack trade. The Raiders got a running back who is the staple of their identity. He's their Derrick Henry. It's funny how we freak out when you have stars traded, but it's like the Raiders did very well with that trade, and the Giants did fantastic on their trade.
Well, we freak out because it feels lopsided in the beginning.
Right.
You have to wait a few years and see how those trades play out. And that's not saying that Khalil Mack is not still a great player, can still be a factor, because he can, but Chicago's problems are not on the defense.
Well, and also, you have to hit the draft pick.
Right.
So... Raiders got a first-round running back who's a star, and also the Giants got Dexter Lawrence, who's he's a really good defensive lineman from Clemson. So if you hit the pick and the complimentary player you maybe got with a trade, then it works.
I think that the Bears situation just really feels hopeless for the rest of the season. And like they had their moments this year where they felt like they were turning things around. It's just, and Trubisky's numbers, like you can't even read them. There was so many garbage time numbers there. He's not what it is. He's probably going to start against the Lions, who are 4-7, which will not be a great game.
Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie
So
News.
here's my Goff thing. First of all, he criticized, Sean McVay criticized Jared Goff. By the way, nothing against Tony Dungy, Tony Romo, or Brian Griese. It's okay to criticize quarterbacks, even on the air. These guys are it's all pillow fighting. Go ahead and rip quarterbacks. They make $35 million a year. Take your shots. It's no big deal. And they're all fine broadcasters. But God, Romo and Brady this weekend, and Tony Dungy and Trubisky and Brian Griese and Wentz, it's like you can hammer a guy when they're not playing well. Comes with the territory. It's not a right guard in college. It's a quarterback in the NFL. But it's interesting on this. So the NFL culturally, I think, changed about 2016, 2017. So Jared Goff was drafted in 2016. It was a pocket quarterback league. But if you go to 2017, the year after Goff was drafted, the league went all in on mobility. 2017, Trubisky was mobile, Watson was mobile, Mahomes was mobile. 2018, Darnold was mobile, Josh Allen was mobile, Lamar Jackson throwing issues but mobile. Who struggled in that draft? Josh Rosen, pocket. 2019, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, move. Who struggled? Dwayne Haskins. And in the 2020 draft, I have it here. 2020 draft. Herbert can move, Burrow can move, Tua can move, and Jordan Love, that's his strength. He can move. So Goff was in 2016. It was the last class where you argued on behalf of pocket quarterbacks. And that's not saying that Daniel Jones isn't primarily with that, but Goff is he's Matt Ryan, slightly more athletic. And so he's a little bit of a tweener. If the Rams were drafting today, I don't think they would draft Jared Goff. Because in 2017, the league just said mobility is key. Now, it used to be 2015, 2016, we were still in that era where if you got drafted, you're like, well, he runs too much. But in 2017, the league just said, that's why Trubisky got drafted. It wasn't because he could throw. It wasn't because of his college career. It was because he could move. And so I think if they were drafting again today, I don't think they'd draft Goff, and I don't think he'd be a top 5 quarterback. But I think he's a little bit of a tweener. So he got caught in that cultural change, and he's one of the last pure pocket guys in the league. And I think at times he frustrates them. So that's kind of my theory on it. The culture was changing. He was the last class where you took a pocket guy, a strictly pocket guy. And I think if McVay drafted today, he'd want Kyler Murray. That's that kind of player. All right, Seth Joyner's coming up next, Philadelphia Eagles. He's always got some good thoughts on that around the corner. Butcher Box is a company I have used. And listen, on your to-do list, you got to go to the grocery store, where they're saying, by the way, is the primary place for COVID surges are grocery stores and shopping malls. So if you can get that protein delivered to your house with Butcher Box, do it. They do it right, to your door. Shipped high-quality protein, and they partner with folks who believe in going above and beyond sustainability, organic farms, fresh farms. They've got fresh-caught seafood, grass-fed, grass-finished beef, heritage breed pork.